Good day, everyone. Now that we are done on the purpose and why use portfolio assessment, we will proceed on its characteristics or the characteristics of portfolio assessment. We have here our objectives. Feel free to pause the video and read our objectives because I'm going to continue to the main topic. Now we have here 9 characteristics of portfolio assessment according to Macmillan. First is clear and defined purpose. So a portfolio assessment should have a clear and defined purpose. It should be aligned to the specific learning outcomes and or the performance standard that we want to achieve. Also, we have to remember that both the teacher and the student must know why the portfolio is being created. So, when the purpose is clear, every entry is aligned with the intended learning outcomes or the performance standard. Next is systematic and organized collection. So, we have to take note that portfolio assessment is not a random collection. Instead, it is a purposeful and structured compilation. So, what do we mean by this? Purposeful in a way that we organize portfolio assessment to show the growth of the students. Because, let's say, for example, what Ma'am Jean Miliari is doing on our activity, the performance assessment that we have, wherein she collects the draft to show the growth of the student, and at the end of the day it will produce a final output, and that is what we call a systematic and organized collection. Next is high student involvement and motivation. So in portfolio assessment, we let the students choose their best work and present it using the portfolio. And because of this, students will be able to reflect to themselves on if their work is good or bad. So it also fosters motivation and it encourages self-direction. Next is individualized and authentic evidence of learning. So every portfolio is unique to the student who created it. So basically, portfolio is as unique as just like every student that we have. Not all the students that we have are the same. And because of that, their portfolio is also not the same, which uh which proves that portfolio assessment has a authentic evidence because of this individualized concept. And portfolio assessment is more of a personalized assessment tool. Next is guided by clear and consistent guidelines. Students in portfolio assessment, students should know what is to be expected on the portfolio assessment that they are working on. Let's say, for example, what they should include in the portfolio, on also on how to organize them, and most importantly, on how it will be graded. And because of that consistent guidelines that we have in portfolio assessment, it ensures fairness and transparency to the learners. Next is student selection of work. So I've mentioned earlier that we let our students choose their best output to present in their portfolio. And because of this, portfolio assessment encourages student to build ownership and pride to their work. So, parang sasabihin nila sa sarili na, ito yung gawa ko. This is the best piece that I have. And through that, they will be able to reflect to their skills and their understanding. Next is we have reflective and self-evaluation. So I have mentioned earlier that the students will be able to reflect to their work because they are the ones who choose the work. So they are self-aware. And because of this, they can monitor their growth. And through that, they can improve as time goes by. And they can improve themselves by the challenges that the teacher is giving them while making the portfolio assessment. Next is based on clear evaluation criteria. So just like every other assessment that we have, it also a portfolio assessment also have a clear evaluation of criteria. It also have a well-defined rubrics, and because of this, it is fair and consistent to all the students because they know what is to be expected on how to grade their outputs. And lastly, it promotes teacher and student communication. So, what do we mean by this? It means that in portfolio assessment, there is a feedback between the teacher and the student because the teacher is to guide the students on what is to include and what is needed to be improved in their portfolio. And uh, through this collaboration, uh, then again, the students will be guided and they will be able to um, cope up with the expectations in creating the portfolio assessment. Now we are going to discuss the different types of portfolio assessment according to Macmillan. So there are only two um, types of portfolio assessment, which is the documentation portfolio and the growth portfolio. However, in documentation portfolio, there are also it is divided into three three different types also. So now let us focus on the documentation portfolio. So this portfolio shows students' work that illustrate achievement, often aligned to learning standard. This includes the celebration or showcase portfolio, in which students select his or best work, what he or she is most proud of, or show results of a project. Because of the student choosing their work, each profile of accomplishment is unique, resulting in individual profiles. This encourages self-reflection and self-evaluation. However, there is a limitation to this type of portfolio assessment, which is the celebration showcase portfolio. So because of the limitation of this portfolio assessment is that it makes scoring more difficult and time consuming because of the unique structure and content of each portfolio, because we all know that not all portfolios are the same because of the individuality that the students have. Now let us move on to the what's the second? Competence and standard based portfolio. So this type of portfolio is structured to provide evidences that a target level or of proficiency has been achieved. So basically, it means that this type of portfolio is for a specific target or a specific standard. From the name itself, which is the standard based portfolio. So, a portfolio that is made to target a specific standard, and this specific standard is actually predetermined by the teacher. Next, on the uh, under the documentation portfolio, we also have the project portfolio. This portfolio illustrates a competency on completion of a single task. It means that this type of portfolio under the documentation portfolio focuses on the final output, not on the process. It focuses on the product of the student, not on the process. The last type of portfolio assessment that we have is the growth portfolio. So, from the name itself, this portfolio portrays the student competence over time. So, it basically shows the development or the growth of the students as time goes by in achieving the intended learning outcomes that we want to measure.